Well, uh, yesterday yesterday's class, we had seen about the different components of the innate immunity. Similar way, something which is important is the adaptive immunity. Okay, so uh, there are some features. So these are the classification of the immune response. Okay, this particular adaptive immunity is also very important for everyone to learn, even including the non-biologists. Okay, because later you will have a lot many applications depending on this adaptive immune response. But okay, turning over to biology, in immune response, there are two different kinds of immunity, as we saw. One is the innate, which is natural from the birth, like the skin tears and those things which I told previously, the mucus, all these things. Adaptive immunity has some features which are four important characteristics. Okay, here we are very specific in the sense they will not unnecessarily attack anything. For example, here we can take the example of say the phagocytes, or more easily we can take the skin in the innate immunity. Skin, irrespective of anything, any antigen, they are non-specific, and non-specifically they will not allow any of the microorganism to get in. So they cover, but adaptive immune cells are there, and some components of the adaptive immune system, they are very specific. For example, if A bacteria will attack you, it will only attack the A bacteria, not the B one. Okay, and not the C one also. It is very specific, highly specific kind of activity will be there with the adaptive immune response. And they also have the memory. This particular first and second one is the major components which are exploited in the vaccination also. So, say we are taking the vaccine against the coronavirus, and it's the vaccine is very specific to one particular antigen of the virus, and it also holds memory, and you increase the memory by booster doses. So only one or two doses we have, so it has memory. This adaptive immune system, they can the molecular pattern what in the previous class we had studied, those molecular patterns will be stored in the memory of this components of the adaptive immune system. And there is a whole lot of diversity. It's a very huge amount of diversity, which I'll tell you later on. So it can specifically attack and keep the memory of a very diverse kind of antigens from the environment, the non-self uh, self uh, or even the proteins or anything, if it comes anything which is non-self, uh, very huge amount of diversity can be uh, recognized by this adaptive immune system, which is something very important for especially the computer engineers, okay, to know. Then it can discriminate between self and non-self. This is something very important. Say innate immune system, uh, like the skin, it just will not allow anything. Mucous membrane also, it will stick on to any. It will allow the impaction or the sticking on to its surface of anything, uh, even self cells or non-self or anything, it is not very specific. Here it is specific and it can discriminate what is the self and what is non-self. There is something very, very important, especially when we go for robotics and all. This particular feature is something very important. So we'll be learning about these things, this discrimination, how it can do, and how the diversity, memory, and specificity can also be done by the adaptive immune system in the forthcoming slides. Okay, we learn. And adaptive immunity, still you can actually categorize them into cellular, where the cells are involved, and there are two different kinds of cells. One is called the B cells, one is called the T cells. B cell, why it is called, is because they mature in the bone marrow. They are produced, both the T cells and B cells are generated. They are produced in the bone marrow, but maturation of the B cells will occur in the bone marrow, whereas the T cells will occur in tissue or the organ, immune organ, which is near, somewhere near the neck, below the, near the chest region. It is called thymus. We all have that. It just matures of the T cells. What is actually maturation is, they will learn, once it is matured, they have learned that whether it can recognize the self and it can discriminate between the self and non-self. If it can discriminate, it means it is matured. Okay, that maturation will occur in these particular things. And there is also, as I told, one more, humoral. This involves cells. Here involves proteins called antibodies. Okay, humoral it is called. They are freely diffusible, and they'll be distributed all along the, just similar to blood, even in the blood. And there is white blood corpuscles we have in that WBC, which is non-colored blood. For example, you see red color because of the hemoglobin. Here there is no hemoglobin, so it will be not a red color. It will be nearly a white color kind of thing. Lymphoid also we call lymph, we call, and in the, it will be distributed all along. Okay, so humoral, solely you, it is called a humoral, and this is cellular. So adaptive immune response will be based on cellular and humoral. Okay, both are present in the blood, and as I told, lymph, that is the lymphoid organs. And what provokes them is antigens provoke a highly specific immune response, resulting in the production of antibodies. I'll tell you more about this. Importantly, the antibodies, they are essentially the proteins which are present on the B cells, just like a receptor, and even freely they are present, and they will go bind to antigens. Antigens, yesterday we discussed, those are the components which will provoke the immune response from the incoming pathogenic organism. Okay. Here, for example, it is shown nicely. So cell mediated. So you have the T cells, and in T cells, mostly cell mediated, will act upon the viruses and the fungi. So now, when we are in the pandemic, the coronavirus also is attacked majorly by the T cells. Bacteria, parasites, and others and all will be attacked by the B cell. This is called humoral immunity, where the antibody, this Y-shaped things. You can see the B cell will not directly act upon them. B cell will produce this antibody. Antibody will act upon them. They will neutralize this. I'll tell you more about how the antibody works. Okay. Whereas the T cell can directly act upon them. Like for example, there is something called cytotoxic T cell and helper T cell. You may not necessarily in this course remember these things, but it is good to know how the process T cell also further they are distinguished into CTLs or TH cells or helper cells. Okay, and they will act upon the virus or sometimes even the fungi. Whereas the humoral immunity on the B cell, the antibodies will be produced. They will act against the bacteria essentially. Okay, here for example, you can see the yellow color is bacteria. Antibodies, the Y-shaped thing will neutralize them, will bind to them and neutralize. They cannot further grow because of this. Okay, and you have, as I told, lymph also, just like the blood, but there unlike the blood there is no proper capillaries or the tubes in which it flows. It will be just wherever the tube of blood flows, it will be oozed out of that, and it will be layer liquid flow. Okay, that is called lymph, and they will also be circulating through the body, and lymph will have lymphoid organs, and the primary lymphoid organs are essentially bone marrow and thymus. So only T cell we told it is near the chest in between somewhere, and bone marrow inside the bone. Okay, these are the places where the maturation of this T and B cell will occur. T in thymus and B in bone marrow. B cells in bone marrow. They mature in the sense, what is mature? Mature in the sense they will be now able to discriminate between the self and the non-self. If they recognize the self as a non-self, what will happen is they will act upon our own cells, and it is just like the defense personnel, the army. They have to attack only the foreign soldiers, not the Indian people. Okay. Uh, say a very good example now is going on in Myanmar. Similar way, if army attacks your own people, then it is something wrong. Okay, so army should always attack something which is foreign. Something attack should be attacked, not the self. So just like that, the immune cell also should know who is the self and who is the non-self actor, and accordingly they have to work. Okay, and there is the mature over here, and the cells which will recognize self as also non-self will undergo killing. We say apoptosis. They undergo killing in this, and only those cells which can recognize and discriminate the self as self and non-self as non-self will undergo maturation in this. And there are also secondary lymphoid organs like the lymphatic vessels where the lymph will flow, and there will be nodes. For example, these are all nodes. In some diseases, near the armpit and all, and there is inflammation, especially in some rare diseases, they all will inflame. Why? Because they act like a filtration. The lymph will take, and here there is attack on the lymph node itself. So we call that lymphadenopathy, and that is inflammation of this. Nevertheless, so spleen, pale patches in small intestine, our appendix, and other lymph nodes, they're all tonsils. They all come under secondary lymphoid organs. Okay, they're all very important. And the properties are very important. Now you can also think in terms of uh, writing codes. When you write, it should be unique, and even the immune cells are very unique, and they have to recognize. Say, for example, you're making a software, you're writing a code to recognize the virus which is infiltrated in the system, in the computer system, so that it should recognize the pattern. So this these cells also they will recognize by the antigenic pattern, which is the PAMS. Yesterday I discussed about microbial pattern that will be detected, and there will be a distributed detection noise tolerance, like they will know what is signal, what is the noise, the threshold. Otherwise, we will not have the microbiota itself in our body. Okay, and they are very robust, and something reinforcement learning. They keep on learning what is a pathogen and what is not a pathogen. They will tolerate for something which is not a pathogen, and they will be having the memory. These are some of the properties of the adaptive immune cells. Okay, once they are matured, and they just a minute, I'll have some water. So they can discriminate between self and non-self. Okay, that how it occurs by a selection process, like when you uh, saw the theory of natural selection. Uh, Naturally something they will get selected, that is a positive selection, and also there is a kind of negative selection. Both can occur over here. Whether for a negative selection, what will happen is, if the occurring cell does not distinguish between self and non-self, it will undergo apoptosis, okay, or cell death. So that is called as negative selection, and these they will just thus distinguish between self and non-self. Okay, and the antibodies are importantly produced by the B cells, and B cells produce the antibody, and the antibody, as you told, is a Y-shaped. Here a green color you can see, and there's the bacterial cell, which is let us assume it's a pathogenic bacteria, and pathogen will have the antigen. Okay, what is the antigen over here? The cell wall. So this antibody, exactly, it will have the binding site to the antibody antigen, and it will bind exactly. Okay, for example, you can see over here there are several antibodies present. Antibody A will bind to a different structure. We call that as epitope. And here it is not a triangle, it's a different kind of epitope. And antibody, one more antibody will bind over here. So antibodies are also termed as globulin. Why? Because they are globulin proteins. So because they are of immunological globulins, they are called immunoglobulins or Ig. Technically, they are called Ig also antibodies. Okay. They are made in response to an antigen and can recognize and bind to antigenic epitopes. So these are the epitopes we call, the exact signatures which will be there. And this antibody, this is the structure of the antibody, the Y-shaped antibody. They will have this particular structure. Okay. What is the structure? I'll explain you. This is the antigen binding site. Antigen in the sense it could be a flagella, it could be some peptides, it could be the cell wall, it could be the memory of the bacteria or anything, or a viral capsid or a spike protein. It could be spike protein like coronavirus. They will all bind over here. Okay, this is having a different regions. First region which you should know is the variable region. Okay, this dark color over here which you see, they are all variable region. That means variation in the sense, as you see over here, the uh, pathogen which comes in. For example, let's assume the coronavirus itself, it's having the spike protein. Spike protein, because of variation, it will have many variations, but the antibody should also be able to be having the feature of variation. So it is variable region. It will vary according to the pathogen, and these are from here onwards. From this line onwards, the light color is constant region. The signatures, because these are again amino acid polypeptides, and these are proteins. So you can see they are bound by disulfide bridges. Okay, the uh, one which is heavy chain, this is called a heavy chain, and this small one is called a light chain. Okay, these two are bound by disulfide bridges, and these two heavy also is bound by disulfide bridges. But the exterior, which binds to antigen, is highly variable. So the DNA also will vary in this. So there is a kind of plasticity which will be there, just like plastic, which has the feature of extension. This also is having a feature of plasticity, where rearrangements can be made so that it suits the antigen whatever has come in. But this constant region will have the same kind of nucleotide, the gene sequences and the protein sequences also will be same. Here there can be alteration in the variable region. Okay. So as I told, identical light chains, identical heavy chains by bisulfide bond they are joined, and a variable region is there. And this region is also called as a FC fragment. Why? Because when you crystallize, they get crystallized in cold. So it is FC fragment, and this fragment is always constant region. Okay. This is something important. This variable region, uh, what is the level of diversity it can get in is humongous, very big, 10 per 18 or quintillion. 10 per 18 is a huge amount. So many different antigens can be recognized, and it can regenerate. It can also differently vary among itself. Okay, so that different antigens, because as I told during the class of microorganisms, I mentioned that microorganisms are around 10 per 30, and there are very huge diversity of bacteria, and in that some pathogenic bacteria might be around 500, 600, whereas viruses, fungi, all these pathogenic organisms together, uh, they will come under this actually, maybe some thousands or 2000 or 3000, but the capacity more than pathogen is, because there are pathogens also variedly they will have, though the number is so much. So this antibody in the variable region, it can rearrange itself 10 per 18 different times, quintillion. This is something very important, humongous, and this is what is required even for recognizing the computer viruses or anything. Okay, and there are different kinds of antibodies. One is called IgG. Ig because immunoglobulin protein, and GMADE. We call them as IgG, small eg, and capital G. Capital G is the differentiation classification. GMADE, IgG, IgM, IgA, IgD, IgE. So many different antibodies are there. When you see the structure, you can see the Y which I was referring to is typically of IgG, IgD, and IgE, whereas IgA is two Ys are there together. Okay, they are bonded together, whereas IgM you can see there will be five Ys together. Okay, they will also be bound together. And percentage, essentially very high percentage will be of our antibodies, IgG, and other the IgM is like a BIMA. Five different very strong antibody will be there, but they are the first ones to come against any pathogen. When it is there, then IgG will be there, they will take over. You have IgA, which is around 10 to 15% in a body, and they are present in all the secretions, in tears, in saliva, in mucus, all these things. They are important, especially, particularly, they are important because their IgA is present in the milk also. And when it is present in the breast milk, it goes to baby. So the small babies will not have any immune response. It is still developing. So the mother gives the immune response passively by giving the IgA to the baby. So it is very significant. Very low amounts of IgG will also go in, but predominantly it is the IgA which goes in. Okay, 0.2% in the body is IgD, but very less amount, 0.002% is IgE, and importantly, this IgE is bound to mast and basal cells. If you remember the yesterday's class, I told about the mast cells and the basal cells. These are very much important in the allergies. So during the allergy, the IgE is present. So if IgE antibody is higher in your body than 0.02%, that means there is some allergic response. Okay, and IgG is the high, and you can see they all there is the half life for them in the serum, and Uh, this IgG, they can enhance the phagocytosis, neutralizes any toxin, and even the viruses. Essentially, the IgG is the one after vaccination which will be very high in our body. Okay, the other memory cell. This is effective against initial, whenever a pathogenic attack take place in our body, the IgM is the one which will first come in. So they can neutralize the one IgM itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 epitopes can be neutralized. Okay. So like this, many higher concentration will be produced, and thus they can neutralize them. Okay. Now coming to now I'll talk in the language of which can be understood even by computer engineers, like diversity report. repertoire diversity. Here, for example, the diversity is enormous. For example, the problem for engineers is that just if you think biologically as well as for any computers, it is the different viruses or pathogen. They are larger than the number of cells and molecules available. Now, how will the immune system find a solution for this? Is lot of epitopes, diversity, 10 per 18 different quintillion diversity will be produced, and because of this, how is it possible to generate millions of antibody types? And in the finite number of genes is it can rearrange itself. For example, here you can see this is called VDJ recombination, and there are different libraries for genetically. When you see the DNA will be rearranged accordingly, so different kinds of amino acids sequence will be produced, which will bind according to it. So rearrangement, it is just different kinds of rearrangement. Like if you all play with the blocks in your childhood, you might have played with the blocks, different colored blocks. How you can rearrange to make some, say, a lorry, a truck, or a bus, or van, or car, like that. You rearrange them. Here also genetic rearrangement takes place like this. We call this VDJ recombination. You may not worry about the technical name for that, but just by this recombination, rearrangement, you get the sequence exactly to the pathogenic organisms antigen. Okay, by different mechanisms, the rearrangement will happen. Okay, and after rearrangement, there will be clone inheritance, and more production of those antibodies will be there that will get selected according to the antigen. Okay, and for example, the maturation also will be there. For I don't need to. I don't want to go into technical. This thing will become more biological for you guys, and there will be reinforcement learning, in the sense more and more it will keep on learning what is the exact structure of that pathogenic organism. Okay, then they will recognize the pattern and discriminate between the self and the non-self. Importantly, among these things, uh, there is a natural as well as artificial immune system in biological sense. Okay, I'm not going for non-biological artificial. I'll go later on for that. But in biologically, there will be natural as well as artificial. In natural, you have the active as well as the passive. In the active, the antibodies are produced, and say an antigen will come in, and because the antigen has come in, the antibodies exactly to that will be produced. Okay, that is called active. Passive, for example, when as I told, IgG or the IgA, if it is done, the secretions and pass on to the babies, it is because of the passive this thing. Baby is not producing the antibody, whereas the mother is giving the antibody, so it is passive to the baby. Whereas there is also artificial biological immunity. Active immunity is like, for example, now whatever we are having the vaccination, it is because the vaccine will induce the production of the antibodies, and when the real virus comes attacking, antibodies will fight against them. So already you're training your immune system to produce the soldiers against the pathogen. Then over there also passive is there. For example, when you may remember that when you get hurt or get wounded, and there was a rusted nail or something which has poked inside. immediately you will go to a doctor and you will take the TT injection, tetanus injection. So what is that is, it is nothing but the antibody itself. Okay, they will not be produced in you, whereas they will inject you with the antibodies which is produced by some other animal which was actively produced, and that will be collected, and that will be given as a therapy for you. Okay, so biologically also there is a natural and artificial. uh, and biologically, when you see how the immune response will be there is, when there is pathogenic attack, as I told initially, immediately there will be IgM which will be there. IgM, because I told you it is having one IgM, around five antibodies will be present in them. So very just like Bima, they can go and neutralize the pathogens which comes in. But then slowly IgG will take over. They will precisely to the reinforcement learning will be there. There will be exact sequence of IgG which will be there. This will go down. These are time. Okay, in 1 week, how these things will happen. Then IgG will come down. Solely, this is one of the example. Solely in the vaccination, we take the booster dose, second dose. So when that is given, so you can see the quantity, the titer it is called, the quantity will be very high. So we keep a very high quantity so that no uh, pathogen attack will take place. Okay, so booster dose of vaccination also, there's same for the infection again. So booster dose also will be taking like this. Okay, before I go to artificial immune system, which is of uh, for the computer engineers and engineering applications, I would like to have any questions. If anyone is having any questions, I'll be happy to answer you. You can ask me now. The mute response, anything you didn't understand or you want me to explain again, or you can comment on anything. Please try to be interactive in the class and ask anything. Okay, Rama Mohan.
So no doubts.
So what is adaptive immune system?